With the launch of the gold commemorative coin to celebrate Kenya's 50 years of independence, the financial sector has been at the forefront of the key milestones of the country.
The coin tells the Kenyan story. December 12, 1963 marked the beginning of a new dawn for Kenya as an independent nation. On that day, the world watched as a new flag was hoisted, symbolizing the birth of an independent Kenya. From the onset, the founders of the young nation visualized a flourishing state, a political democracy guided by the virtues of representative government, in which the rule of law applies equally to all. The new nation was determined to prioritize and actualize the elimination of poverty, ignorance, and disease. 50 years on, our country has made notable progress on the social, economic, and political fronts. Kenya is now one of the fastest growing economies on the African continent, and this is even before the exploitation of the newly found natural resources.
The advent of the mobile phone financial services in 2007 has unlocked the vast potential of Kenya's unbanked population. The average daily worth of the mobile phone transactions through channels such as M-Pesa, Airtel Money and UCash stands at about 5 billion Kenya shillings.
Again, the convergence between mobile telephony and banking services through what we call the mobile banking. And those two developments, I think, are the platform on which the banking services will leverage to be able to tackle the challenge of getting the services out to the consumer who is currently not able to access those services. So we'll see a lot of technological innovations arising out of the mobile banking platform, where banks will leverage on it and be able to access, because currently the consumer expects those services immediately and at wherever he is. So bring those services down to your phone where you're able to do everything on your phone will be a major step going forward.
Riding on the success of mobile phone financial services and agency banking model in banks such as Equity, KCB and Cooperative Bank, financial inclusion has increased by nearly a quarter to 75% in the last 7 years.
Bank branches, brick and mortar kind of branches were becoming very, very expensive. And to support reach of financial services, accessibility to financial services, we established the agency banking model. To date, we have over 23,000 agents serving Kenyans all over. They are agents of bank. They are the banks being the principal, and then the agents. So it means that it's the non-traditional outlets. It could be a shopkeeper or a petrol station that is doing or helping the banks to achieve that. We have seen that over 23,000 bank agents spread across Kenya have transacted over 69 million transactions since they were formed in 2010, valued at over 367 billion shillings.
We have reached a stage whereby currently at least 2/3 of the Kenyan population are now able to access formal financial services. And that's a huge step from where we were, say, at the pre-independence period up to where we have reached currently.
But despite the country enjoying a relatively stable macroeconomic environment, interest rates remain stubbornly high, limiting access to affordable credit.
I'm told the spread, that is the rates paid to depositors and the rates paid by people, lenders, or the borrowers. In some countries it's 2, in other countries it's 3, in India it's 4, I'm told in Nigeria it's 5, but in Kenya it's 10, and sometimes 20. I think opening the new leaf for the next 50 years, central bank must help us deal with this puzzle so that we can make credit affordable. I am looking forward as a Kenyan in the next year or so that we begin to discuss interest rates at single digit.
As the country turns a new leaf, the government has formulated a 5-pronged development strategy to help reduce the cost of business. Focus will continue on infrastructure, food security, access to free education and healthcare.
Going forward in the next 50 years, we must put in place and implement policy measures to look into and sustain a high but also inclusive growth. that expands economic opportunities, generates jobs, and reduces poverty throughout the country.